Hey guys, look, I'll get straight to the point. The reviews, they're gonna have to go bi-weekly for the time being. So instead of a review every week, you're gonna get a review every 2 weeks. There are reasons for this, of course, and to be frank, well, I've got a lot of crap going on in my life right now. With work, with family, even my personal life. And it's taking a lot of time away from writing, editing, filming even. And it has been sort of taking its toll on the reviews. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed that last week, for example, it was very short. I actually picked a Cobra Blackstar character because there wasn't that much to say about him and I could be done relatively quickly. I was actually kinda keeping Blackstar in my back pocket for those occasions when you don't have much time and you want to get something out there. But unfortunately, it just isn't sustainable. I'm not gonna get into details because, well, for one thing, it's kinda private, and for another, I'm here to entertain you. And I don't want to, vent at you. I have people for that, luckily enough. I know there are other YouTube personalities and reviewers who do pour their hearts out in videos, and if it helps them, hey, more power to them. It's just not something I want to do. Now, just because there's not gonna be a review every week, doesn't mean there isn't gonna be a video every week. You see, I figured I'd give you guys something. So what I decided to do was that every other week there's gonna be a mini Q&A. Basically, you guys can ask me questions and I'll answer them. I actually scoured all the old YouTube comments and the old threads where I post in on various forums to see what questions I'd already gotten. As a complete aside, going through all those YouTube comments again and the threads on various forums, I was actually gobsmacked by how many of you actually take the time to say how much they like the show. And believe me, that really was a fun little trip. It gets you right here, so thanks for that. So for today, I thought I'd answer a few of those questions that I found. The most prevalent question actually has been, hey, you should review this! Where this is either a character or a cartoon episode or a comic book issue. And I should clarify that I intend to review everything from the original line from 1982 to 1994. So, eventually, yes, you're gonna see every single character. Hell, I might even do vehicles that didn't have drivers, so they aren't characters. This is going well. I'll also be reviewing every single cartoon episode from both Deke and Sunbow. And I'll also be reviewing every single comic book issue from the main G.I.Joe Marvel line, as well as special missions. Now the comic books, they're the only ones I'm doing in sequence. I started at number 1 and I'll stop, well, at number 154, I think. Or 156. Can't be bothered to look it up for the moment. But as far as the characters and the cartoons go, I sort of just picked them at random. So we'll see when we get to whatever character you happen to like best. Another question I get a few times, well, it's less of a question and more of a statement really, is stuff like, hey, you didn't talk about this version of the character, or you didn't mention this character appeared in this comic. When that usually happens, they're talking about figures that came out later, like anywhere from after the year 2000. And also, they're talking about comic book appearances that happened this millennium. Truth of the matter is, I don't have most of those toys, nor have I read most of those comic books, so I can't really comment on it. I mean, on occasion I will give a brief aside that yes, this character did get a new toy as a convention exclusive, or a collector's club exclusive, but I can't go into much more detail than that because well, I don't have those toys, so all I can really say is, they sure look nice. The truth of the matter is, the main focus of the show is the original G.I. Joe line. So anything from later, I'm not saying I won't talk about it. I mean, I have on occasion, like for Monster Month for example, I talked about characters from the Valor vs. Venom line. It's just more the exception than the rule. Okay, I'm not sure if that was actually answering a question or just me rambling, but I hope it clarified a few things. Now, next week there should be a new review out. It's actually pretty nice that I've got more time to script it and work on it, since, you know, it can only benefit the quality of the review. The week after that will be another Q&A session. I still have some questions, but hey, you guys can help me out. If you want, you can go into the comments and ask me a question, and hey, maybe I'll answer it. Or if you're more familiar with the threads on the various G.I. Joe and toy forums, you can post a question there. Or you can even tweet a question at me if you want. And the questions can be about anything. I mean, G.I. Joe, obviously, or Half the Battle, the show itself, or, well, even personal stuff, though I do reserve the right to not answer those. Hell, it doesn't even have to be about G.I. Joe. If you want to ask me what I thought of the new Star Wars, fine. Or what I think about other reviewers or websites or whatever. Yeah, it's basically ask me anything. Well, that's about all I have to say, really. I hope that this won't be a permanent change, that I can eventually go back to doing one review a week, and I hope you guys understand. Well, see you next time, everybody.